What's up, y'all? It's back with
With
the
the pack.
pack.
The boys are back. The boys are buzzing. Ben
We are
Graves not
buzzing.
here this time. Just me and Jack. So today
Better?
is our this is our second episode of the new pod. And last episode we dove deep into every single chapter and our future predictions and symbolism and all that jazz. And this time we're gonna be talking about how we would have maybe how we would have narrated the story, what we would have done differently, how realistic we think it is, and how we would react and act if we were in the foot in the if we were in the shoes of various different characters, and overall how we think it was be.
Yeah. So we definitely invite y'all to join us and you know, kind of think to yourself of what you would do too. You know.
Yep.
So starting off with the initial island start, I would I think I did the exact same thing, except I wouldn't be as rude to my man Piggy.
Yeah, I feel like Piggy. I feel like if I was Piggy, I wouldn't be dropping my name, saying
Oh
I was
no.
Piggy. I would be like, I'm Jeff. I feel like he was destined for failure after, he was seen as a larger male, and then he drops the name Piggy. Like that's like me being like, yeah, they call me Slenderman. Like I'm not saying that. I'm saying my name is Jeff.
No, and like it's just not a good look for Piggy at all.
No, not a good looking.
Um, at the end of the day, though, Ralph's a bad guy for that. Like he told you not to tell anyone. So that's Ralph. But like, still, I digress on that. I say, after that though, get the meeting. Okay, first thing I would do differently is I would not call it democracy. Call it tribe. I would do a democracy. I'd be like, we're
I
voting and
completely agree.
everything.
Actually, I feel like I'm stepping in a little bit on you,
No, no,
but
no, no. I'm like agreeing.
yeah, I mean, if you look throughout up to chapter 8 so far, the idea of leadership and like being, more dominant, whatever, is just reoccurring, and it all started and struck up from the idea of who's going to be chief and all that.
Yeah, no, it caused so much conflict and it just was so stupid. Um, and like it doesn't mean there can't be leaders in a
I feel like
democracy.
from the writing perspective of Golding, I actually liked that he did that, and it led into everything really well. But from the character's perspective, and if we were in there, I think a democracy would work a lot better.
And that's coming from our 16-year-old view. So here's the next question for this initial start of the story. Do you think that this would actually be the truth? I know Golding wrote it from his perspective as a elementary school teacher, and he probably would have the best view.
Yep.
But his view also might have been oversaturated from being with kids every day where they're forced to be there and they might have different tendencies. So do you think in a survival situation, this is how the kids would act in real life?
I think the little ones, given their age, I think it was a very accurate depiction of how they would react to all this beast stuff. But I feel like if how old were these kids?
12, preteen,
I feel
11,
like
the oldest.
I feel like when I was a 12-year-old, I wouldn't be this gullible for, the beast in the water and the beast in the air. I don't think I would. I'd definitely be scared on a deserted island, but I wouldn't like. I
I
don't think
think
freak me out
majority
that.
of kids would be like Piggy. I don't think majority of
Yeah, I
them
think
would
majority
be.
kids would be piggy, low key laid back, but also like nervous and just
Yeah,
trying to do the best for the tribe.
I don't think they would think it's a game. Like that's what the problem. They were all thinking like this is a game. We're going
Yeah,
on
they're
an
like, ooh, I want to be
adventure.
the leader. I want to be the leader. I want to be the hunting squad.
Like me personally, I'm not taking that, and I'm gonna say what I think, and I'm not gonna ever call someone else my chief. First off, but definitely at 12 years old though, I think maybe it's because they're from England and they're perfectly fine having a king. You know how them British people are, but
Yep,
um,
that royalty.
at least from our perspective, I think the Littlelands, I think they were depicted perfectly, though. I got to agree with you. I think the
And
Littlelands would not understand the severity, and I think they would more just be the fact of like, where's my parents? I'm homesick. Um, Also the fact of Piggy also knows that like everyone's dead. There was like a nuclear bomb, so I don't like Piggy gets it. I think everybody would be
yeah,
like Piggy.
I feel like Piggy's. I mean, I think it was actually real. Like, I don't know how to word this. I feel like it's very realistic given the fact that this is how kids will react to being like, oh, this is a game, and then obviously there's always that one just intelligent kid. But I feel like it was a, the characters are for their age were written really well and played up to their part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, and it's also you can look at it like the game is like a coping mechanism that kids might use because kids will find any way to cope. Like humans in general find any way to cope,
Yeah.
but kids are especially great at it because the older you get, there's different ways you can cope. Like as you know, there's like tons of ways people get addicted to things, but kids are kind of more innocent, so they have to find their own ways. So make up things in their head, and obviously we know that portrays them with the beast, which that's the one thing I don't think is realistic. I think kids are scared of the dark, but I don't think kids are so scared of the dark that it's gonna make them start like becoming in like savages.
Yeah, another thing that I think about the little ones that Golding did really well was how he said how he wrote about them being like, not very helpful and most importantly, them having fun in the water all day. I feel like that, like when I was a kid, and I think majority of people when they're kids wouldn't want to be doing the workload to survive. They just want to be having fun, and I think that was a great, way
Definitely
to
accurate.
those characters. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he did a great job with that. And yeah, as far as that, I think beginning of the story was done very well in some parts, and I think it was unrealistic in other parts, but I think overall it was done very well and accurate. I think the more we get into the story, that's when I start to see things. I get a little bit more like what's going on here. I don't know if I agree with this. Um, like there's a couple interesting things though that are different today. I don't think today would be the same. Also because of the fact that I don't think kids today like chances are I don't think anyone's gonna know how to start a fire. These kids are
Yeah.
pretty handy actually. They know how to start a fire. Um,
Yeah.
that's
Also,
good.
I don't think kids will be sent to a deserted island because of a war. But
True, true. Well, they crash landed.
yeah, but
I think the GPS software, and also I don't think there'd ever. Obviously, this is the hypothetical, but I think a parent would live.
yeah,
Like I don't think I
I
know
think
it's a
it's really
hypothetical, but
unrealistic how only the kids lived, and especially given the little bodies of the little ones, them all, not all, but like
yeah, like if I'm on the plane, I'm picking them up and I'm using them as body shields. But um,
I mean, their little hearts getting hit. I imagine would the little bodies getting hit would I imagine from a crash would probably
I'm just surprised it
react in a
died.
worse way than the adults.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that anyone survived a plane crash is crazy. But
Oh,
still, um, besides that, I think the further we get into the story, that's what I like them trekking across the whole mountain. It's
oh yeah.
interesting. Food is such a problem, but somehow they're able to go from one side of the mountain to back. It just shows you like they're being a little unrealistic with the scenario, as clearly they have fruit and food they could live off of, and they live in a paradise, yet they letting in their minds play tricks on them, like playing a game of like we gotta hunt. They don't need to, it sounds like. And even if they did, you don't need bloodlust. Like I don't think most kids would have bloodlust. And I think that's where Golding brings up like the nature versus nurture thing. I think it's like he's almost saying humans no matter because you're taking a kid, that's the most innocent thing you can find. And like you kind of show them like it's like that the kid wants blood. Like Jack wants blood. But then
Uh-huh.
it's interesting, you also show like the little ones, the more innocent group, and they're like very in between on everything. And but we do hear them start chanting, like kill the pig and all that
Mhm.
during Jack's party. But that's them being influenced. So it's interesting where Golding stands on whether or not he thinks that this is human nature or he thinks humans are being turned into this via other humans. That's interesting. But on to the next part, which is the next part of the story, that we should kind of focus on is, do we think kids would go insane, like straight up insane, like they did with Simon?
I mean, I feel like some kids would definitely, hallucinate or like pass out, but I don't think anyone would. I mean, we don't really know because we've never. I hope none of us have, been
Knock on wood.
out of food, and I don't got no wood near me.
Knock on your head.
Oh, I mean, I bet the wall. Wait, no, I got some wood right here.
I heard it.
Good, I got that.
So what were you
But
saying?
um, where was I at?
We were talking about, do we think kids would go insane? And you were saying the kids, hopefully we're never in that scenario.
Oh yeah, so I mean, obviously, I don't think either of us have been in a scenario where we'd hallucinate that bad, but I mean, I just think it'd be much more realistic if, I mean, I feel like, I don't know if there's a better way for him to connect to the Lord of the Flies besides hallucination, but I don't think it would really be that extreme to the point where you're talking to a pig's dead head.
Yeah, I could definitely see your head completely destroying you, being deserted on an island. And
Mm.
like, but I don't think it would take the form of what he thought. I think it would, maybe it would for like, but then again, it's just Simon that takes the form of, which maybe it does for one kid. It takes the
They'll get
form of like
distracted
something.
from this and stuff, but
But like part of me also thinks Simon ate a weird mushroom on the island. Um, who knows with that though? Overall, from what we've read till to chapter 8, I think the I think for final opinions on it, I think author does a great job showing the way kids are, and I think he sets a very realistic example of what would happen. I think it's unrealistic in the extreme parts of the story, but I
yeah.
think at the basic way the story's going, I think he's very correct on the way things would go, talking about
Yeah, and
maturity and all that.
again, to make it an interesting story, I feel like, I mean, to make it a story, I feel like he or she, he, I think, right,
Mm.
had the basics, which you have to have, but then also had the kind of stretches and unrealistic scenes, which I feel like are very important to keep to keep, our reader engaged and actually make it a story, not, real, real
Yeah,
or.
yeah. Um, so I think we're good on that part. I think for our final part of the episode, we spend like maybe 1 minute talking about. I want to hear the three items you would bring if we got deserted on an island. If you could choose three.
So if I had to bring three things, I'd bring a life straw because I
Yep.
feel like that's kind of an issue, water. I feel like it's the hallucination part seen by Simon it would be more from water than food, I imagine.
Yeah.
And oh, I mean, what do they use to kill the pigs?
Spears.
They make them.
Yeah, they made them.
I mean, I'd probably bring a tarp. I don't think that shelter is really much of an issue,
For like
but
rain and sun.
yeah, but I feel like that'd be important. So I'm gonna go number one, Lystra, two tarp, and three. I mean, if are we talking World War II? We talking right now?
Right now.
I mean, of course I'm bringing my phone.
I,
Communication.
I see what you're saying.
Yep. All right, now you.
All right, so you know I'm gonna have to be extreme with this. One, starting off with a satellite phone with that has a solar panel, one of those solar panel things,
Yep.
so it's always charged. So
Yeah.
just like that, I'm automatically, I already am gonna be able to get contacted at least somebody. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, someone's gonna know where I am because they're gonna GPS ping me. So I'm already good on, I'm gonna be saved eventually. And then now I gotta focus on staying alive for this couple days. So first thing I'm gonna focus on is I'm gonna get me a fishing rod because I'm on an island, and instead of having to go hunt something, I'm just gonna go fishing. Pretty simple. Um, because you can use worms as bait, and you can use the same line. You can always just cut more. So I'm gonna bring a fishing gear.
Yep.
And then for my third option, since I already know I'm being saved, I'm not gonna bring like a boat or anything. I'm gonna just have to bring me. I'm gonna go with a classic. I'm gonna go with a tent.
Like
A
that.
really nice tent though, like a really nice one.
Yeah, I mean, little kids and 12-year-olds building tents from scratch, I'm sure they weren't the best. So,
Yeah.
I feel like a tent
So
would be pretty crucial.
yeah. So I think we would be set, us personally.
But we're totally chilling.
Yeah, but that's back with the pack.
Back of the pack.
Um, I hope you guys enjoyed this
Season
special
three.
edition without
Or no,
Ben.
was that season four?
That was season 4.
I'm gonna
Um,
miss y'all. I'm gonna miss y'all.
maybe we come out with Back with the Pack 2 next year. Actually, no,
Oh, I like that,
it would be
dude.
senior year.
I like that.
It would be senior year, I think.
All right. It was
All right,
good. It was a good run.
late. That's later. That'll be
The pack might be back. Catch
maybe
you
we don't
later
know.
in the future if there's the next one.
All right, bye.